Hello, everyone, and welcome to a great episode of the Gridiron Glory. Here with Will and Tad. Today, we're previewing the 2025 season for the Carolina Panthers. A very interesting team going into the season with third-year quarterback Bryce Young. He was benched last year in the middle of the season by Dave Canales in what was a strong move for the culture, a move that, in my opinion, it helped move the team along. It helped reset Bryce Young's mental state, reset his game. And after the benching, when he eventually went back into the QB1 spot, he played a lot better after the benching. And I think he has a lot of potential to continue that high level play into the year, has a chance to improve, continue to learn from Andy Dalton, the seasoned veteran, as a backup. So personally, I'm a bit high on Bryce Young going into the year, so I think he could be in store for a third-year breakout.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, obviously, getting benched last season and everything like that. And then, he had to make the comeback that he had to make. And kudos to him for, staying so resilient during that entire process, Tad. Definitely not easy getting benched and then having to come back from that. So, but he did, and he's still here. He's still going to be listed to be the starting quarterback week one. So, really good stuff from Bryce Young in that regard. So I'm just really excited to see Tad if he can, be that quarterback that everybody once saw the potential for him to be at Alabama. We definitely knew. I'm sorry, even back then that Bryce Young had all that potential to, just be this outstanding standout quarterback, and he
Yes,
still very
definitely.
much can be. Um, but you're in a rebuilding system with a rebuilding team with a coach that's still trying to get this thing together. Bringing in Tet McMillan. I mean, I know that's he doesn't want us to call him Tet McMillan, by the way, but everybody's kind of catched on to that.
Yeah, I
Um,
know, especially his mother. I know his mother's been very vocal about calling him either his full name Tetairoa or T-Mac. So that's
yeah,
certainly
so
something
out of
that.
respect, we'll probably just call him T Mac going forward or Tetairoa. Yeah, it's kind of just hard to break that habit in the preseason still. But what do
Whatever you whatever you do call him one of the better receivers in the league, one of the better young
you?
receivers. I think that going into this year, the very high first round draft pick out of Arizona, number 8 overall, I think he's going to have a big year. I think we could be looking at one of the leading candidates for offensive rookie of the year, even. I'd be willing to go that far. And I think Tetairoa is going to be the best receiver that Bryce Young has played with at the NFL stage, and it's going to be interesting to see. Early on in his career, we got a lot of young receivers in this team. Jalen Coker, Xavier Legette, both second-year players as well, and then, of course, the seasoned veteran Adam Thielen. I think this is going to be an interesting wide receiver room.
And Ted, both the thing is about Ted McMillan is, I mean, I've liked what I've seen so far from him in the preseason. Or I'm sorry, Tetairoa McMillan. What I've loved about him so far in the preseason is just the fact that he just has good attitude, good effort, good athleticism. The talent is obviously there. He's gonna make plays, where he breaks open down the field, whether it be in slant route, whether it be in hooking routes, post ups. I just feel like Tetairoa, T Mac, he can do it all. So Bryce Young is going to have lots of fun with him. Yeah, Xavier Legette, Adam Thielen. Um, yeah, guys like that for sure.
The running back room is in an interesting spot. Chuba Hubbard, the big contract last year, they're going to expect a lot out of him to continue to play at a high level. You bring in Rico Dowdle to be the backup out of Dallas, and you draft Trevor Etienne out of Georgia, who he also played for Florida, so interesting college dynamic there. But it's going to be an interesting running back room as well.
Yeah, I mean Chuba Hubbard. I mean he's been in the league for quite some time, and he's out there. He's still doing this thing. He's going out there and carrying that. What's now? He's definitely like up there in age, and not. I don't want to say up there in age, 26,
Mhm.
but what I mean by that is he's definitely turned into. He's no longer one of the younger running backs in the league. He's now a veteran running back in the league. So you just hope that Chuba Hubbard can keep going out there and bringing his presence with Rico Dowdle, Trevor Etienne.
Yes.
So yes, absolutely. Adam Thielen, Hunter Renfro. I like Hunter Renfro a lot as well. So Bryce he has a lot of great pieces around him and everything. It does seem that the starting tight end is going to be, or the tight end one, Tommy Tremble, and then Jatavion Sanders. Though it does look like Tommy Tremble is
Yeah, he
there's an
has a
issue
bit of
going
an
on.
injury. He has a minor issue on the PUP list, and they say they expect him to be ready week 1. We'll see how that goes.
Yes, absolutely. The Panthers' offensive line on PFF does rank number 11th. They arguably had one of the worst offensive lines just even a couple of seasons ago. You want to look for Robert Hunt to go out there and find his old form is kind of what they're saying here. You also need guys, like Hunt. You're definitely going to need guys like your right tackle Taylor Moton, former second round pick out of Western Michigan. The left tackle Akeem Okonwu, going into his, it looks like, third season now. So definitely going to need to step up and protect Bryce Young's blind side for sure. If you're going to want to be able to go out there and do this thing. Austin Corbett, of course, the center. Probably one of the more mid-tier centers in the league. Robert Hunt, same thing. Probably more of a mid-tier guard as well. So, but PFF does have them number 11. So that's massive improvement,
Mhm.
for this offensive line.
Yep, they're expecting massive improvement. I'm kind of in the I'll believe it when I see it stage with this offensive line, but it looks like the potential is in a much better place. Um, Shifting gears to the defense here, this is a defense that, the way I see it, the linebacker room is going to be a big make or break type thing. I know they spent a couple draft picks on their edge rushers in the linebacker room, guys like Nick Scorton, who's unfortunately dealing with a bit of a collapsed lung. So he's kind of on a week to week basis, but they need him back out there. They need Princely Oman Mellon to play at a high level early on. I think that the linebacker room, it could serve definite levels of improvement. Right now, their lead starters are DJ Wanham, Pat Jones the second, Wallace, Traven Wallace, I should say, Christian Rosenboom. I think there's definite level of improvement, and we need to see some of the younger players step up, make plays, and I think that's definitely something to think about in the linebacker room.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Yeah, the looking at the linebacker room, I mean, yeah, Traven Wallace, Christian Rosenboom, you said it, DJ Wanham. I mean, all three of those guys, I mean, probably more so middle tier linebackers in the NFL.
Agreed.
Christian Rosenboom, arguably the greatest player to ever come out of South Dakota State. But he's out here doing it, not too far from Tad there, the college.
Yeah,
Um, Trayvon Morig, even. I mean, he's very solid. I mean, Jaycee Horn, though. Jaycee Horn, despite his only 64.3 PFF grade, I think Jaycee Horn is really Tad one of the more premier cornerbacks in the league. He's a bit. I
yeah.
mean, he's a big built body. He provides leadership. He, provides explosiveness. I mean, Jaycee Horn is a very solid NFL player, former first rounder.
I'm a big believer in Jaycee Horn. I think he's the best player on the defense.
PFF gives him an 86.9 pass rush grade.
Yeah, I
So
know
a tremendous pass
PFF
rusher for
has
sure.
Yeah, PFF definitely not as big on Jaycee Horn as I am. I think that he's a premier player, top 10 level cornerback, and I think that he's going to have a big year. If he can stay healthy, I think he's going to have a big year. Going to be an interesting secondary room. I know you mentioned Mooring. Chow Smith Wade, the second year nickelback. That's going to be an
Yes.
interesting player there as well. I think we have some potential. I think that they're going to need the cornerback room to be one of the strengths of the defense. The cornerback room, the safety room.
Yeah.
They're going to need that to play at a high level. I know, like we talked about the questions in the linebacker room, and I know the D line. I mean, we'll see what we get out of the D line. We have Bobby Brown, Derek Brown, Ashawn Robinson, Tershawn Wharton, Shy Tuttle, guys like that. So we're going to see if we can get a breakout player. They don't really have a standout player on the D line in my eyes.
Yeah, yeah, the defensive line, PFF isn't too high on that either. So, yeah, the defensive line, you're going to need them to go out there and really step up their game this season, and you'll have the chance to, definitely place above the Saints and the Falcons if you can do that. Matthew Wright will be called upon to kick the field goals in his fourth season coming out of UCF. Um, yeah, looking at Matthew Wright, he's played for a few different teams already in his young career, but yep, here he is coming to play with the Carolina Panthers. And yeah, yeah, so we'll see if he can, obviously keep doing what he does. Did you have any takes on Matthew Wright?
I think Matthew Wright is a fairly average kicker.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. What about their punter?
Yeah, Sam Martin, the seasoned veteran, he's been all around the league for several years now. Drafted round 5 in 2013. He's had some time with Detroit, had a couple years with your Broncos, then with Buffalo, and now this is his first year in Carolina. So definitely seasoned. And now going from Buffalo to Carolina, I mean, Buffalo, a team that you don't see them punt very often, and maybe you could be called on a bit more in Carolina, though they're certainly hoping the offense takes a step forward. So that's going to be interesting to see. Raheem Blackshear as a returner, that's going to be an interesting situation. So we'll see how that goes. And now we got to talk about JJ Jansen, the long snapper, the most tenured player in the history of the Carolina Panthers. He's played in 260 games, the most ever by anyone in Carolina. So he's been here since 2009. So he's probably one of the more tenured players on a single team in the entire league. And he's just been there. He's been signing 1 year contracts. So question would be, how long is he going to continue playing in the NFL? He's definitely a super seasoned veteran at this point. Made the Pro Bowl way back in 2013, 23 tackles in his career. So this is a very seasoned veteran at the long snapper position. And now we do have to talk about the predictions of how we think Carolina's going to do. I think Carolina's going to improve a bit, and I could see them even push for a winning record potentially. I'll say them 7 to 9, maybe even 10 if I'm stretching it, but 7 to 10, I'll say.
I'd say 6 to 10 wins. I mean, they have that potential. They could push past the Falcons. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how it goes in this NFC South between them and the Falcons, depending on MPJ and all that stuff. We're there when we get into them, but yeah, this Panthers team. I mean, the sky's kind of the limit for them. I mean, they're the only thing that's in the way of this Panthers team is themselves. So can they get past that push? Can Bryce Young get over himself? Can Dave Canales turn into that next level coach that can turn Bryce Young into an elite quarterback? Same with some of these defensive guys. So this Panthers team is very interesting to watch, and they're coming back. They are digging themselves out of what was a very brutal hole 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, like 2 seasons ago, we were talking about this is potentially one of the worst franchises in the NFL, and I feel like they've made a big step, and I think that Dave Canales deserves a lot of credit for that. So thank you all for watching. This has been the Gridiron Glory with Will and Tad. Please continue to like, subscribe, follow our content for high-level information about the NFL. Thank you for watching.